Hi, this is Margaret Byrd, and welcome to Color Quest, and welcome to a grove of evergreen. Now, today's video, we're actually going to return back to the oak tree. Don't have one here in my local neighborhood, but last week we looked at what the oak gall did in the way of tannins for a dyer's pot. Today, we're going to look at another treasure of the oak tree, and that is the acorn. Now, if you are lucky enough to live where there are oaks and you have access to acorns, they can be a really easy way to forage in the fall time or whenever acorns are falling to the ground. So they tend to be in abundance, and I'll tell you that squirrels and other small animals that collect acorns choose their specific acorns wisely. And therefore, if you see acorns on the ground, you can be picking them up because more than likely the small animals have chosen not to pick them up. You might wonder, why would a squirrel make that decision? Well, there is a small animal that can live inside of an acorn. If you've ever looked at the outside of the acorn and you see a small round hole, this is the exit of what's called an acorn weevil. They lay their eggs inside of the acorn when it's still on the tree, and the larvae live off of the nut inside of an acorn. Once the acorn falls to the ground, the larvae will make their way outside of the acorn by chewing a perfectly round hole, squeezing its little body through, and burrowing into the ground to finish its gestation to becoming a weevil. And what I've read is that squirrels know that an acorn may already have friends inside living and eating from the nut, and therefore choose not to collect acorns that have those weevil larvae in them. When you forage for acorns, look for the acorns that have those little holes, because that means most likely that the weevil larvae has already left the acorn. Alternatively, if you don't see acorns that have that, that's fine as well too. But as you begin to process your acorns, just keep an eye out for them. I found a few in this particular batch, and I simply collected them and placed them outside so they could burrow in the ground. Just something to keep in mind. And we do like to try to share our natural resources with our friends in the animal kingdom, including tiny little insects. So besides being easy and abundant to collect foraging for acorns, they are a wonderful natural plant-based resource of tannins, which can be used to mordant your textile. They make a lovely neutral palette of browns and beiges, and they, as a tannin, interact so lovely with iron. So today on Color Quest, we're going to look at both the dye color of the acorn as well as how it interacts and plays with iron. And just to mix it up and make it fun, we're going to look at that using a very simple Shibori technique. So we will have a finished product that is foraged acorns, the dye itself from the acorn, and a beautiful pattern made with iron in a Shibori tie. So let's go grab some acorns, jump into the dye studio, and get to cracking. That design was so pretty. I have to tell you, I've never made a shibori like that, and I love the way it turned out. I love it. I was like, oh, yay, so pretty. And that color that I got with the iron shift, going from that beautiful golden brown color to that almost olive green with the iron shift, the combination of those two together looks fantastic. Now, acorns are obviously going to change the way their color is in your dye pot depending upon where you forage them from and what kind of a tree they come from. So my results were based upon the kind of acorn I had from whatever oak tree it was. I don't know, I did not identify that. I had some small little helpers with me. They did all the collecting, and I did not take note of what kind of an oak tree it was. But know that different acorns will produce different neutral tones, and I have seen some acorn shifts go to blacks and grays. So I was pretty excited to see that green though, because you know me and green, hard to find out there for me. So very happy with the result. And although you don't need a mordant if you're going to be using acorns because they have tannins, and certainly iron is also a mordant. So this particular project, I didn't have to have a pre-treatment. I happened to have cotton that was pre-treated with aluminum acetate. So that's what was used in this particular video. I believe that probably had an impact on bringing my colors so golden, as well as then shifting to that green. Without the aluminum acetate, maybe it would have been more of a straight brown color shifting into blacks. Don't know. But know that if you use acorns, you do not have to pre-treat your textile because it does have tannins to do the job for you. Note, however, that one of the strongest mordant bonds is utilizing a combination of both a tannin and an alum mordant. And I think what I saw here today was that interaction happening. So you will read about something that's a tannin alum combo. That is probably the strongest mordant bond you can use for cellulose fibers like cotton. So keep that in mind if you want to go down that path. I certainly have seen some professional dyers who are only utilizing that technique because they want to have the strongest bond with their natural colors and they're looking for longevity. So tannins and alum, not a bad combo. Just keep that in mind. So next time on Color Quest, I'm going to take you on a trip. I am getting ready to head off to the beautiful city of Prague in the Czech Republic. My daughter is going to school there, and I'm going to swoop in for about 10 days with my other kids and have some family time as well as some local foraging time. Not quite sure yet what I'm going to be foraging for. I'm going to go exploring once I get there, and next week's video will be a surprise both for you and for me. So I hope you'll join me on Color Quest next week as I zip off and do some traveling and some foraging in a completely different environment. I hope you all are having some wonderful holidays. This is the season. And if you'd like to share some of the Color Quest love, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. And I'll be popping into your YouTube every Friday at 11 o'clock Pacific time with new content all about the amazing world of natural color. Have a great week. Look forward to seeing you over in Prague. Have a great week. Have a great holiday. When is this going to come out? No, this will be after Thanksgiving. Okay. Have a great